You're watching TAG TV. You're watching TAG TV.
Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Monday, the 8th of October. Voting in civic polls held after 13 years in India's Jammu and Kashmir. Sindhis hold protest against human rights violations by Pakistan. And Indian Air Force celebrates its 86th anniversary. And now for all the details. Scores of people turned up to vote on Monday in first phase of civic body polls in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province with hopes of development and peace. The four-phase local body polls are historic because they are being held after a gap of 13 years.
Voting for four-phase local body polls in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province began on Monday as people lined up outside polling station with hopes of development and peace. A thick security blanket was thrown over the province by the authorities and the Election Commission to ensure peaceful polls. Two major parties of the province, the National Conference and People's Democratic Party, have boycotted the elections, which has turned the electoral battle into a direct contest between the Congress and the Bharatiya Janata Party.
सर बहुत सारा जोश है 13 साल के बाद मौका मिला है हमारी जो समस्याएं हैं किसी ने सुनी नहीं है कोई ऐसा बंदा आगे आए जो सुने बस यही चाहते सर
According to the Election Commission, 1,283 candidates contested in 422 municipal wards on Monday. A large numbers of independent candidates were also in fray.
सिक्योरिटी का भी अच्छा निज़ाम है हर चीज़ यानी ऐसा कोई भी किसी चीज़ की कोई दिक्कत वगैरह महसूस किसी वोटर को नहीं हो रही है हर वोटर अपनी आज़ादी से अपने नुमाइंदे को मुंतखब कर रहा है चुन रहा है वोटिंग दे रहा है और सिस्टम बड़े खूबसूरत और अच्छे अंदाज में जारी है
The last elections to the municipal bodies in the province were held in 2005 through secret ballots and the 5-year term had expired in February 2010. Counting of votes will be done on October 20.
In news from Pakistan, Pakistan's former Finance Minister Ishaq Dar has rejected allegation levelled by Prime Minister Imran Khan's advisor on accountability that he owns 2 flats in London. Dar, who is in London since last year, has been facing charges of owning assets beyond known sources of income. He has been declared a proclaimed offender in the case.
Pakistan's former finance minister Ishaq Dar has rejected the allegations levelled by Prime Minister Imran Khan's advisor on accountability that he owns 2 flats in London. Dar issued rebuttal in reaction to joint press conference of Shahzad Akbar and Information Minister Fawad Chaudhry last Friday, media reports said. Dar, who is in London since last year, is facing charges of accumulating assets beyond known sources of income. The Accountability Court hearing the corruption reference filed against him last week allowed the National Accountability Bureau or NAB to sell off his assets in Pakistan. According to NAB, Dar has 3 flats in Dubai, a house in Lahore, 4 plots in Islamabad and 1 luxury car. The PMLN leader is also a shareholder in 3 companies based in Dubai, while his wife owns 6 cars in Pakistan. Dar claimed that he doesn't own any property outside of Pakistan and termed the charges as utterly false and vindictive.
Moving on, an anti-Pakistan protest was held by Sindhi activists outside the UN office in Geneva, accusing Pakistani establishment of gross human rights violations in Sindh province. They also protested against the construction of China-Pakistan economic corridor and dams in Sindh, Balochistan and
Sindhi activists recently held a protest outside UNHRC office in Geneva accusing Pakistan of conducting gross human rights violations in the Sindh province. The protest was held by World Sindhi Congress during the recent UNHRC session in which Baloch, Pashtun and activists from Pakistan-administered Kashmir also participated. They blamed Pakistan of extrajudicial killings and forced disappearances and harassing the religious minorities in the province. The protesters also alleged the construction of multi-billion-dollar China-Pakistan economic corridor and dams on River Indus have displaced hundreds of people in the Sindh province.
Previous issues of enforced disappearances, extrajudicial killing, violence against religious minorities, they continue unabated. Now they have started other issues which are matter of life and death for us. The CPAC continues, which is matter of life and death for us. Now they have decided without consultation, without consideration of any historical, legal, international laws to build dams on River Indus.
Girls are being abducted, forcibly converted into Islam, and after that nobody knows that where are those girls.
Sindhi activists have also been requesting the international community to take notice of the violence inflicted by Pakistan against their peaceful struggle. They blame innocent Sindhi people are being called Indian agents and subjected to torture, killings and enforced disappearances by Pakistani forces for raising their voices.
And in news from Afghanistan, Zalmay Khalilzad, member of the US State Department team leading the reconciliation efforts and peace talks with the Taliban, arrived in Afghanistan on Sunday. The US envoy's visit comes amid rising attacks by terror groups across the country ahead of long-delayed parliamentary polls this month.
US Special Representative for Afghanistan's Reconciliation Ambassador Zalmay Khalilzad arrived in Kabul on Sunday as part of a 10-day journey to Kabul, Islamabad, Doha, United Arab Emirates and Riyadh. Khalilzad, after arriving in Afghan capital, said he has come to Afghanistan to break the stalemate regarding the war and to bring peace to the war-torn country. An Afghan-born former US ambassador to Kabul and Iraq, Khalilzad was appointed in September to the US State Department team that is leading the reconciliation effort and peace talks with the Taliban.
از هر چیزی که خداوند به من داده، از تجربه‌ای که دارم در مسائل بین‌المللی، از تجربه‌ای که دارم در درس خواندن کردیم پیش از این تجربه در روابطی که دارم در منطقه و دنیا برای رسیدن به هدف از او استفاده میکنم. پیشترم گفتم که یک هدف مقدس است. خداوند کوشش‌های همه ما و شما را موفق بسازه، کامیاب شویم در این قسم.
خوشبینی است که آقای خلیلزاد به عنوان یک آمریکایی افغان الاصل که در قضای افغانستان از 40 سال به این طرف دخیل بوده و باعث یک کسی که در سیاست‌گذاری‌های حتی استراتژیک دولت ایالات متحده آمریکا نظریاتش شنیده شده، نسبت به دیگران ممکن موفقیت‌هایی داشته باشه.
Khalilzad's visit comes as terror groups like the Taliban and the Islamic State have stepped up attacks across the country ahead of the long-delayed parliamentary polls scheduled to be held this month.
More in news from Afghanistan. At least 10 policemen, including a district police chief, were killed in clashes with Taliban fighters in Afghanistan's central Wardak province on Sunday. Repeated assaults on strategically important provinces have been a show of strength for the Taliban recently, underscoring how volatile security remains in Afghanistan 2 weeks before nationwide parliamentary elections.
At least 10 policemen were killed in clashes with Taliban fighters in the central Afghan province of Wardak, officials said on Sunday. The Taliban set fire to a government building in Wardak's Saeed Abad district and killed the district police chief along with 9 other policemen on Saturday night, a senior police official said. Repeated assaults on strategically important provinces such as Wardak and nearby Ghajni have been a show of strength for the Taliban, underscoring how volatile security remains in Afghanistan 2 weeks before nationwide parliamentary elections.
والا دولت بسیار تلفات داره پلیس زیادتر ما که هستیم به کمکشان رسیدیم وقتی که رسیدیم کلگی ولسوالی را گرفته بود این دولت حمایت نمیکنه اردو حمایت نمیکنه پلیس حمایت نمیکنه یکی را حمایت نمیکنه چی رقم ما خدمت کنیم به این دولت
Wardak Provincial Governor's Office said the Taliban raided some civilian houses after killing 10 policemen, destroyed newly built checkpoints and cut power to some parts of the city. Government forces counterattacked to stop the insurgents from approaching the city.
The Indian Air Force on Monday celebrated its 86th anniversary with a traditional grand parade cum investiture ceremony and a dazzling aerial display. The day is celebrated every year as Air Force Day since 1932 when India was under British rule.
A dazzling aerial display by various aircrafts as well as impressive parade cum investiture ceremony on Monday marked the 86th anniversary celebrations of the Indian Air Force. Hundreds of Air Force personnel took part in the activities as part of the celebrations to commemorate the day at Hindon Air Force Station in Ghaziabad on the outskirts of Indian capital New Delhi. The event started by a parade and was followed by a display by the Air Force warriors who showcased their weapon handling skills and carried out rifles.
With 86 years of glorious past, IAF today has transformed into a modern and battle-hardened Air Force with strategic reach. This would not have been possible without the strong foundation laid by our esteemed veterans, whose vision, strength of character and resilient spirit still pervades today's Air Force.
India observes the Air Force Day every year on October 8th. It was observed for the first time in 1932 when India was under British rule. At that time, the Indian Air Force was an auxiliary of the empire. The Indian Air Force safeguards the Indian territory and has been pivotal in providing help during the natural calamities in the country.
Hindus across India on Monday took holy dip in sacred rivers to pray for the well-being of the souls of their ancestors and seek their blessings on the final day of Pitru Paksh or fortnight of ancestors. The rituals are a way of expressing gratitude to the ancestors.
Hindus across India on Monday offered prayers and took holy dip in river Ganges, Brahmaputra and other sacred water bodies for the well-being of the souls of their ancestors on the final day of Pitru Paksha or fortnight of ancestors. In Hinduism, Pitru Paksha is considered an inauspicious time to start new ventures or buy anything new given the death rites performed during the ceremony known as Shraddh. On this day, men and women stand in waist-deep waters in rivers and seas at the break of dawn and offer food items and flowers, among other things, to their ancestors. The rituals are a way of expressing gratitude to the previous generation and seeking their blessings.
ये जो एक रस्म है, इसमें हमारा पूर्वजों को जो हमारा एक समय में अपन थे, किसी का पिता थे, माता थे, तो वो आज दुनिया में नहीं है. तो साल में इस समय एक्चुअली हम उनको अपना जो सम्मान रेस्पेक्ट वो हम लोग अर्पण करना चाहते हैं.
According to the Hindu tradition, Pitru Paksha is a 15 lunar day period falling in the months of September, October, beginning with the full moon day and ending with the new moon day. Pitru Paksha is followed by the start of Navratri or 9-day festival dedicated to many incarnations of Hindu goddess Durga.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Voting in civic polls held after 13 years in India's Jammu and Kashmir. Sindhis hold protest against human rights violations by Pakistan. And Indian Air Force celebrates its 86th anniversary. Now viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.